Chapter 23 Breaking Point. My eyes stood open with terror. I could feel my body shaking from the sight. Eve's grip tightened on my arm. I feel like I'm gonna be sick. My eyes looked over to Alice and Hal, who wore my same expression, but they seemed almost used to it. I don't know how anybody could be used to seeing this. I looked down at Eve, who hung onto me tightly with her eyes closed shut. My eyes looked back to the scene with horror. How could he have done this? I gagged. My body wants to escape, my mind only more so, but my legs just won't move. Blood covered the mall fountain, turning the clear liquid into that of a horror-inducing red. It smeared the floors with the color he loved so much. No bodies remained, but Hal did say after an hour they'd disappear. Letters spelled out fate. You're next, in chilling letters. Careful and precise, he wrote. He knew exactly who would be reading this. My foot took a short step back, creating a sickly squish from our sneakers against the liquid. I gagged, covering my mouth in fear that I would throw up. The reality is finally setting in. We're fighting against a killer, but not the one who brought us here. We're facing the one he brought with us. It's survival, House said monotonically. His eyes couldn't look at us. Instead, they focused on the outermost parts of his mind. Eve seemed just as confused from his comment as I did, but Alice seemed to almost agree with him. And what if that happened to one of us? Eve snapped. It didn't, though, he replied. I can't believe he's so cold. That's not the point, Eve exclaimed. Why should we worry about what-ifs when there's already so much to worry about? How is right in a way. If we spend all our time thinking about what if this had happened to us, we won't be able to do anything else. We won't be able to survive. I bet there are plenty of people wondering what if they were in our places. We can't afford stupid questions anymore. We need to find Leo, Hal commanded, walking through the pool of ruby. Alice, are you just going to let him be so cold? Eve questioned, much like a child nobody was listening to. If we keep asking these questions, we won't have to wonder what if anymore, Alice sighed, following her. Those two seem too calm about death. Any death is nothing to be immune to, but this is not a normal death. This is a slaughter. I followed Hal and Alice, with Eve close at my side. She really is terrified, but so am I. I've never been here before. I would have never guessed Territory 4 would be in a mall. In fact, I didn't think this place would even have a mall. I'll give the game maker credit. He really put thought into this world. It's kind of fun discovering these new places, but I forget what's really going on here. Hal and Alice stopped walking as we halted in front of a clothing store. I looked up at the store name. Hi. Odd name, but I don't really understand fashion. A young girl covered in red sat against the checkout desk, with eyes wide and lips curled as if they'd been crying. Her hair was short, about to her shoulders with a blonde wave. She wore jean capri and gray, long, plaid-collared shirt with dark bloodstains splattered across it. She held her legs tightly against her body as her skin shook. Leo? Alice questioned, walking into the store. Leo jumped, pressing her back against the desk even harder. Her green eyes seemed almost pure white with fear. It's okay. We're here to help, not to hurt you, Alice explained, putting her arms up. Leo moved her hands quickly, making several shapes and symbols. What's she doing? I questioned. He's mute, Eve whispered back to me. Wait, that's a guy? She nodded. Oh, my head hurts. Oddly enough, this isn't the weirdest thing I've seen here. You'd think I'd be used to it, but no. Man, my head actually hurts, though. Did this really cause me enough confusion to get a headache? Maybe it's just the smell of blood. It is pretty disgusting. Either way, my head is throbbing. I can actually hear my heartbeat in my skull. None of us can understand the sign. Please type, Hal pointed out. Leo nodded, typing onto his phone. It was a large touchscreen, larger than Alice's, with a smooth black case. Alice walked over to the boy and took his phone out of his hands. It says that Ian and the Threes just came in and slaughtered Cece and James. Did they really just do that for no reason? I questioned with fear and disgust. Shh. Alice shushed me, returning to Leo. The Hispanic girl rose a hand quickly, slapping the boy across the face. The sound of her hand echoed off his skin in a sharp tone. What? What is wrong with you? I snapped. We all question that about you, she sighed. Come on, no, why did you slap him? He's a baby. People die. Get over it. Her tone was cold and dry like her heart, if she had one. Leo sat in disbelief. What? What, are you going to cry about it too? Alice barked. My face soured. She can't be serious. Are you insane? His friends just died. So why are you getting worked up about it? Alice growled. Because I actually value people, I argued. I'm sorry. It's my fault. I forgot you were an idiot. I'm not an idiot. I'm just not heartless, I barked. Look, I don't know what makes you dumb, but it really works. I'm not as dumb as you look, I replied. Oh, I thought you want to live? It's no wonder you're totally useless, she sneered, changing the subject. I'm not useless. I can be used, Alice cut me off, as a bad example. Damn it, can't you ever be nice? Can you ever process an actual thought? You know, other than something completely stupid, she questioned in a cute tone. Do you get some kick out of putting others down? I snarled in annoyance. You were already down. I just pointed it out. With that attitude, it's no wonder everyone thinks you're a bitch. I guess I'm the only one with enough guts to say it out loud, I growled. If you don't like my attitude, don't talk to me, she huffed, crossing her arms. Who hurt you? I questioned sarcastically. Do you like living? Don't ask, she threatened. Fine, I yelled, leaving the store in a rage. I just need to get away from her and cool down before I say something I'll regret. I wandered around the mall, looking at the shops and sales. I don't remember much about malls or shopping, only that my mother would drag me along when she wanted out of the house. My memory is just jumbled. I don't remember exactly how I got here, and I didn't remember Eve until she reminded me. But I now remember things I did before. I remember my parents fighting and my mom leaving one night. I remember her blank face as she left the house with suitcases in her hands. I asked her where she was going, and it was almost as if she didn't hear me, though I know she did. She looked directly at me as the morning light touched just slightly over the horizon. She looked directly at me, walked out, and she never came back. What kind of mother does that to her son? I guess it would be better if I was younger. That way I wouldn't remember that face. That hurt face of disgust and annoyance that she wore behind an emotionless mask. I want to forget that face. Why did I have to remember that face? Of all things. Alice wears that same mask. She acts so much better than everyone else and doesn't give a second thought about others' emotions. We argue just like they did. We spill poison from our lips and spit it into others' eyes, not giving a damn about their feelings. We just wanted a reaction. We just need to know that we're still alive and that we still have a say in our futures. We do have a say. We can beat this. We can win, and we can live. The throbbing in my head intensified to the point where I could no longer walk. I fell against a wall to my right, holding my head in pain. My body began to sweat as the temperature seemed to rise at an alarming rate. I began to shake slightly, as if it were cold, but I'm definitely not. I dropped my shoulders as the energy from my being went down with them. Why am I so tired all of a sudden? I yawned, only to cringe from my headache. My vision blurred as I stumbled. What is happening? My eyes dilated, and soon my head met with the wall as my body slid limply down the surface. I took a deep breath before everything went black. My eyes opened in a tired manner. The room was bare with an unfinished appearance. I looked at the concrete floor, covered with rust and dust. My eyes looked slightly up, only to see the same appearance against the wall my body faced. I laid away from the light, on my right side. That much I can tell. My breath was low and shallow as it echoed through the room. I attempted to move my arms, to find that they were restrained behind my back with a tight grip. I tried to move my feet, to the same results. My head throbbed in a nauseating fashion. I wish I could grab my head. Actually, I wish I could move. Where am I? Thoughts raced across my mind. That's right, the killer! I gulped, understanding where I was. Oh God. I had hoped that was only a dream. Did it really happen? What do you remember? I think I was home? My thoughts are fuzzy. I remember hearing a noise downstairs, and I remember seeing a figure in the black. What happened afterwards? Stop thinking about the past. I can recall the nightmare after I escape. Question is, how? Maybe I can roll over? A voice entering my hearing stopped me from my movement. You really damaged this one. I froze. Is that the cell phone killer? It won't be easy, but I'm sure he'll be ready for his debut within the week. The voice was older sounding, with a groggy tone. Wait, debut? What does that mean? Is he going to kill me? He's going to kill me. I could feel tears falling out of the corner of my eyes as I desperately tried to hold them back. My body began to shake from the fear alone. I don't think I've ever been so afraid. No, stop it. I can't shake. If I shake, he'll know I'm awake. I can feel the shivering increasing as I realize the fear in the thought. What's he going to do to me? What did I do to deserve this? Footsteps cut off my thoughts. I couldn't help but wince in fear. A small noise escaped my lips, and instantly I turned white. I'm gonna die here. The sound of metal scraping across the cold surface grew louder as he walked closer to me, just out of sight. I began to scream, shutting my eyes tightly. I don't want to die! Crack. My eyes shot wide open to see Alice standing confused in front of me. The surroundings of the mall blurred as my senses came back. I could feel my body, still shaking from the nightmare. My eyes were wide as I looked past the girl, into the loss of my own thoughts. I could feel the single strand of tears on both sides of my eyes, and meet under my chin before falling to the tile. I curled my lips, moving my left hand in front of my eyes in an attempt to hide my crying. I couldn't hold it back, but she doesn't need to think that I'm weak. Blank? She questioned. Shut up already! I'm trying to be strong like you told me. I'm trying to be useful. I really am. And I'm trying to stay positive, but I can't. I just can't. I sobbed, breaking my own mask, and in front of her of all people. Perfect. So go ahead and make fun of me. Go ahead and fucking tell me to get over it, and go ahead and tell me how much of a loser I am. I cursed, continuing to cry louder. She sat next to me, putting her left arm on my back and rubbing it softly as I cried. You can get over it later. She smiled in a comforting manner. John.